Sati, also known as Dakshayani, was the daughter of King Daksha, one of the Prajapatis. From a young age, she was deeply devoted to Lord Shiva. She would meditate upon him, chant his name, and long to be his consort. Meanwhile, Lord Shiva, the great ascetic, resided on Mount Kailash, absorbed in deep meditation, detached from worldly affairs. As Sati grew older, her love and devotion to Shiva intensified. She undertook severe penances, standing on one foot, meditating for years, and even giving up food. Her intense tapasya pleased Lord Shiva. Despite Sati's devotion, King Daksha was strongly against her marrying Shiva. He considered Shiva an unorthodox deity, one who wore animal skins, smeared himself with ashes, and roamed with ghosts and ascetics. Daksha wanted his daughter to marry a powerful and royal prince, not a wandering yogi. However, Sati remained firm in her devotion. One day, seeing her unwavering love, Lord Shiva finally appeared before her and accepted her as his consort. Their union was celebrated by the gods and sages, but Daksha was furious and refused to accept Shiva as his son-in-law. To insult Shiva, Daksha organized a grand yajna and invited all the gods, sages, and celestial beings except Shiva and Sati. Sati, hearing about yajna, insisted on attending despite Shiva's warnings. Sati, my father's home is my own. I do not need an invitation to visit my family. But when she arrived, Daksha humiliated her and insulted Shiva in front of the entire assembly. Enraged and heartbroken, Sati could not bear to hear her beloved Lord being dishonored. In a moment of intense grief and anger, Sati invoked her yogic powers and self-immolated in the sacred fire, sacrificing herself to uphold her love and dignity. The gods and sages trembled in fear as a great calamity unfolded. When news of Sati's sacrifice reached Shiva, he was overcome with unbearable grief and rage. In his fury, he performed the Tandav, the cosmic dance of destruction, shaking the heavens and the earth. In his rage, Shiva plucked a lock of his hair and created Veerabhadra, a warrior, along with the Bhairavas and Ganas. He ordered them to destroy Daksha's yajna. Veerabhadra and his army stormed the yajna, defeating the gods and sages. Daksha was beheaded, and the grand sacrificial ceremony was reduced to ashes. After his rage subsided, Shiva restored order. Upon Brahma and Vishnu's request, he revived Daksha by placing a goat's head on his body. Realizing his mistake, Daksha finally accepted Shiva as the supreme lord and bowed in repentance. However, Shiva was inconsolable over Sati's loss. He carried her burnt body on his shoulders and wandered the universe in sorrow. To review Shiva's suffering and restore balance, Lord Vishnu used his Sudarshana Chakra to cut Sati's body into 51 pieces, which fell into the earth at various locations. These places became the Shakti Pitas, sacred sites where the divine feminine energy is worshipped to this day. Shiva then returned to Mount Kailash, immersing himself in deep meditation. Sati was later born as goddesses Parvati, the daughter of King Himavana and Queen Menavati. After performing penance once again, she reunited with Lord Shiva, and this time their marriage was celebrated grandly in the presence of all gods and celestial beings. significance of this story is true devotion always triumphs. Sati's unwavering love for Shiva shows that true devotion transcends worldly opposition. The destruction of ego. Daksha's arrogance led to his downfall, teaching that pride has no place before divine love. Birth of the Shakti Pitas. The legend explains the origin of these sacred sites where the divine feminine energy is worshipped. Rebirth and eternal love. The story shows that divine love never ends. Sati was reborn as Parvati and reunited with Shiva.